Halloween to everyone. I hope you guys have a great Halloween. All you kids out there got tons of candy. So, like I said in a post, the Horrorfest 2022 edition. Just like I did with Christmas last year, where I ranked every single Christmas movie that I saw from worst to best. Now I'm doing the same thing for Halloween. So, yeah, so I got a list right here. I've seen a lot of horror movies, but this year I decided to go with the ones I've never seen before. Like movies I've wanted to see. Like movies I have seen, but I decided to take this year off and just focus on movies I've never seen. So let's just jump right into it, and all of these are going to be quick because I don't have much time left on my recording on my phone. Plus, I have to edit another video that I've done over the course of the last week. Plus, I'm not going to spoil any of these movies. I'm just going to quickly talk about them, and let's just jump right into it with last place, number 30, The Monsters 2022, which is a film directed by Rob Zombie this year, and I was incredibly disappointed in this movie. Prior to seeing it, I watched a couple episodes of the Monsters TV show that came out in the 60s. Just after watching this movie, I was incredibly disappointed of how Rob Zombie went with this film. It's just incredibly disappointing. I would not really recommend it if you're a fan of the Monsters. Number 29, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. This movie is not good at all. It takes the plot of the original movie, but completely changed it all the way, and it was not that good. So, yeah, number 28, The Hills Have Eyes 2006. I was interested about this movie. I was expecting good things, but I didn't get those good things. It's just a bunch of a cart of this family going on vacation, and they get stuck in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and they apparently get attacked by carnivores in the desert. Which, on paper, it sounds excellent, but when they just go right through it, it's not good at all. So, yeah, 27, Don't Breathe 2. The sequel to the successful Don't Breathe, which takes place a few years after Don't Breathe, where the old blind man has a daughter now, but when they get attacked, they just, his daughter gets kidnapped and he has to kill them, which, unfortunately, there was not any horror effects at all, which the first movie had, but this movie did not. It was completely disappointing. Number 26, Unfriended Dark Web. This movie, I saw in the first movie, I thought it was okay, but this movie just was not good at all. It's just the main character of the movie, the main reason why this movie is a thing, because the first movie was successful, but this movie just failed instantly, where the main character just steals someone's laptop, and this punishment is just getting his friends killed. Just does not really sound interesting at all. Just it's completely stupid. 25, Escape Room Tournament of Champions. Now, I enjoyed the first Escape Room. I thought it was excellent. The casting was great, and it takes place probably a few months, I don't know, after the first movie, where the two survivors of the last movie decides to finish whoever is tormenting them with their escape rooms, and it went completely off the rails. It was not entertaining at all. Even the scares that they try to do, not fun. The new characters that they introduced, not good at all. The rooms could have been a whole lot different. 24, Unfriended. This is basically just a movie where a bunch of high schoolers are just talking on Zoom, and then this weird guy just comes in and just torments them, kills them off one by one. It's, again, like I said, it could have sounded a whole lot better, but when they just do it, it just really doesn't sound interesting at all. But I do find enjoyment in this, but not really. So, yeah, that's 24. Number 23, House of a Thousand Corpses, which is the first movie in the Rob Zombie trilogy. I thought this movie was going to be good, but however, when it keeps on going, it just freaked me out even more. It was super uncomfortable to watch. It's just basically these few friends are just on a road trip to one of their friends' house for Halloween, but one of the friends is incredibly stupid and decides to go for a myth, which gets them all killed. It's just, ugh. I'm saving you guys a bunch of time by telling you not to watch these movies. Now we're getting into the good. Not great, but good. So, 22, Crawl. Now, when I first watched the trailer for this back in 2019, I thought it was going to be a flop. But when I saw it in theaters back in 2019, I was incredibly entertained. It's basically a survivor movie which originally there was supposed to be for the survival genre, we got like movies like Jaws and all that type of stuff with sharks or dinosaurs or whatever. This time we got alligators, which I know about because I have like a few alligators back in my backyard swimming in a little pond and whatever. See, I'm aware of like what will happen if your house gets flooded and gets infested with crocodiles. It's pretty good. So coming in 21st place is Halloween Kills, the one of the sequels in the H40 timeline, which I thought this was okay, but not really the best. Takes place right after Halloween 2018, where Laurie gets put in the hospital after getting stabbed by Michael in the last movie, and just like he survives the burning house, which really was not supposed to happen, but since everybody knew about it in Hatfields, they were like, no, evil dies tonight, we need to get rid of him. So yeah, just the way that they like go at it with this movie, like bringing some of the old characters back from the original Halloween movie, it would have been nice, but it went completely downhill from that. I just wish it would have been completely different than that. So yeah, not bad, but not good either. So coming in 20th place, Friday the 13th, 2009. This movie was fast paced for me. Just like they take the first 4 Friday the 13th movies and just like crammed it into one movie, which unscripted sounds good, but really it wasn't. Just everything went super fast, and I could not be able to catch up to that. Just I wanted it to work, but it didn't. So coming in 19th place, 3 from Hell, the last movie in the Rob Zombie trilogy. Yeah, I thought this was good. It takes place right after The Devil's Rejects, where the 3 gets arrested, one of them dies, and the 2 escapes and decides to cause mayhem. So they go off to Mexico and live a better life, but more trouble gets caused from them. So yeah, I thought this was an interesting movie. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, so coming in 18th place, It Chapter 2. This is not as good as the first movie. I'm just gonna say that. Takes place like 20 years after the first movie, but all the characters, all the losers have grown up. They all have lives, but when Pennywise decides to come back to Denver, he decides to just like get them back together and just like have one final showdown, which it was interesting, but really though the movie is like over almost 3 hours long, and it could have been better if it was like 2 hours and 20 some minutes. It would have been better by that, but it was super long and just I got bored most times. So coming in 17th place, The Invisible Man from 2020. This movie I wanted to see before the pandemic happened in 2020, and it took me 2 years to watch this movie. Like, why? Why did it take me 2 years to watch this movie? But after watching this, I knew I made a mistake waiting this long. It was such an incredible movie. Just Elizabeth Moss just killed it in this role. Just fighting off the Invisible Man, or her ex-boyfriend, or whatever you want to say. just like finding Kim off with her friends not believing her at all, so she has to prove it. So yeah, just incredible movie. So 16, Escape Room. Now I really enjoy this movie where we get like a whole bunch of like nobodies that nobody knows about, like have different lives, and they decide to group these people up in an escape room, and just they have to survive, and just such an incredible movie. Coming at number 15, the 1980 version of Friday the 13th. Now this movie, it was interesting, I liked it, but it just really moves the point away, because the Friday the 13th movies have the icon Jason Voorhees, which, yeah, like right there, that's my dude right there. Which they don't introduce him until the sequel next year. The next year, Friday the 13th Part 2. However, but they just like show his mother just killing off a bunch of these friends that just like camp out in Camp Crystal Lake, just to get revenge for her son's death. Just, it would have been interesting to see Jason Voorhees, but we see him as a kid. Just really did not fan out all that well, but it worked some way. Number 14, Halloween Ends. This movie, I enjoyed this movie. So, yeah, I did talk about me doing a ranking of all 4 of the H40 timeline. But really though, I wasn't able to, because, like I said, I have a video in the works. So, yeah, so this movie is just, which for some reason takes place 4 years after Halloween Kills, which, to be honest, they were supposed to make Halloween Ends after Halloween Kills, like back to back. But with the pandemic and all, they weren't able to do that, so they had to like make up a different script 4 years later. Just, to me, that didn't work out the way it did, but the way how they just put it all together, it just sounds incredible. Just the final showdown with Laurie and Michael, that was incredible. Just 10 out of 10, highly recommend it. So coming in 13th place, The Devil's Rejects, the sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses, and the second movie in the Rob Zombie trilogy. Now, to me, this one's my favorite. It takes place right after House of Corpses, where 2 of the family members, the crazy family members, run off after their whole family gets killed. And again, this movie is basically the same as Street from Hell. They're on the run, trying to escape the police and just kill everyone that gets in their way. It's just such an incredible movie, extremely gory, highly recommend it. 12th place is the 2018 Halloween, 40 years after the first original Halloween movie, where just Laurie Strode cannot get over how scared she was 40 years later. So she's just ready, getting her guns ready. Just, she wants Michael Myers to break out of the insane asylum he was in. Luckily, that was able to happen and have a showdown, which at first, when I saw this movie back in 2018, I thought that was a perfect end. But a few years later, I find out there are 2 more sequels on the way. So, yeah, this was an incredible, interesting way to like continue on the Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers timeline. I thought it was interesting. Coming at 11th place is the 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street. This movie really interests me because I really like the idea of having like getting killed in a dream. Just like such an interesting plot line with Freddy Krueger playing as Robert Englund playing as Freddy Krueger, which I thought that was a good idea. Just, I don't know. It's just like getting killed in a dream really doesn't sound right, but either way, it works in the end. Just such an incredible movie. Number 10 is Don't Breathe, the first movie where these 3 friends try to break into this old man's house, but he's blind. But later on in the movie, they find out that he has like ways of getting around his house. Just super creepy, nice story. I really enjoyed that. Number 9, we're getting to the end, guys. is number 9, Hellraiser from 1987. Not the 2022 movie that re-released. This is not the 2022 reboot that they released on Hulu. No, this is the original Hellraiser. I thought this was pretty interesting, where someone comes back from the dead, and his girlfriend has to kill a bunch of people just to get him back, bring him back alive. Which I thought that was an interesting plot. Just I thought it was super interesting in some way, which I could not get a grasp on, but I liked it either way. So, coming in 8th place is Child's Play 1988, not the crappy Mark Hamill 2019 film. This is the original Child's Play. So I enjoyed the premise of a doll getting possessed by a killer that dies, but then transfers his soul into a good guy doll and just kills people, and just trying to get his soul into another human being. I really thought that was interesting. It worked out every single way. It's just incredible. Coming in at 7th place, which for a few years I did not know this was a horror film, but I guess it is. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. This movie, I had no idea what it was about like 3 years prior, back in 2019. But after seeing a midnight screening of it, I was interested in this movie. I really enjoyed like the musical type that it was going with, just the characters, just everything about it was really amazing. I highly recommend this movie. So, like you're seeing right now, we're getting to the end. Like, we're getting the best of the best. So, let's continue on. Number 6, the 2017 It. I love this movie. Like, and I have seen the TV It, I guess you could call it. Just such an incredible movie. Just having these bunch of kids just fighting off a killer clown. And this one guy getting revenge for his brother that got killed by this killer clown. I really love this movie. Highly recommend it. Alright, top 5, let's go. Number 5, the 1978 Halloween movie. Everything that you think about a Halloween time is in this movie. It's just incredible, where one Halloween night, one guy comes back from in the same asylum, like breaks out of the same asylum and just starts going rampant, like killing a bunch of people on Halloween night. That's something you will probably hear about some Halloween night. You never know that. But yeah, such an incredible movie. Now, number 4, this is interesting because this came out this year, and I totally did not think this was going to go high on the list. But that is Ethan Hawke's The Black Phone. This is such an incredible movie that takes place in the 70s, where Ethan Hawke's character just like kidnaps kids, and this one kid is able to fight his way out. And I thought this was an incredible movie. Just love it. So, coming at number 3 is Saw, the 2004 Saw. This is the movie that really got me into horror films, because I was a fan, but this movie just blew up, just made me want to watch more horror. Just such an incredible movie, where this killer just traps people in his traps, and they have to escape before they die. It's just such a good plot, just amazing. Number 2, Get Out. This movie is the first from Jordan Peele. This movie was so good. Just this guy and his girlfriend going to her parents' house, but then realizes something is not right. He has to figure out why they're acting like this. Such an incredible movie. Now, number 1 is a movie that a few years ago I did watch, but I was on and off about. This year I finally watched it full, and I'm excited for what's about to come next year. And that is The Exorcist. I love this movie. Just taking a plot of like a child getting possessed by a demon, or the devil himself, Just that really caught my interest right there. Just absolutely love this movie. So scary. The score, incredible. Just, love this movie. So, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that huge ranking there. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.